Infowars.
Of foreign alternatives.
There's no correlation.
All right. Is my stuff working? There it is. Ahem. I'm looking something up. Give me a second. I got one more thing I want. Well, not just one. There it is. Oh, yeah, I got it.
With Donald Trump.
Okay. Almost there. Hit that like, everybody. Share the show out. Pump me up on your blue sky. That sounds dirty. Okay, hold on. We'll get, I'm getting Instagram up. There we go. Almost there. Now, there we go. We're live on Instagram. Excellent. Now we do. Yeah.
ethnic cleansing campaign.
All right, let's just get to this. Ready to go? We're ready to make it happen. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's Hal Sparks Megaworldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Share me on your blue sky. Let me be a ray of sunshine in your blue sky. Let me shine in your blue sky. And you know what? Hold on. I have to. Jamie, can you put that thing up on the board where they're looking for a left-wing Joe Rogan? Yeah. And find that needle where I can inject steroids into my neck. Thanks. Yeah, just put it anywhere. It doesn't have to be on the big board. You know what? Just spray it like fecal material all over the studio. At this point, I kind of don't care. At this point, I mean, what could be worse? We don't know. But Jamie, pull up that thing about how it could be worse. Yeah, the asteroid they're tracking. Trump's NASA head has said recently that he would like to divert an asteroid towards the Earth. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Hello, chat room. Hit that subscribe button if you would. Like, subscribe, patreon.com/Hal Sparks, all that stuff. Thank you for being here with me as we navigate the waters of the I Told You So River. And can we start? All right. There's some good news, and I will share it with you. Not the least of which is that Matt Gaetz is never going to be AG. Don't worry about that part of it. Whether RFK Jr. is HHS secretary, that remains to be seen as well. And again, Trump has had a history of appointing people to these departments because he just wants the departments to die on the vine. This time he wants to actively murder them. That's definitely a thought. But the question remains, do these people who he's putting in charge of these things want to be the person who was at the helm when they did indeed die? I think they all, thank God, have their own grandiose egos that make it, so that they think they're the ones to salvage or save these kind of things. So again, whoever he puts in charge of the Department of Education, if anybody at all, will be put in charge of killing it, and then they will realize, oh, I'm getting my fiefdom kicked out from under me. So it's a little sad that at this point we're hoping for a little bit of corruption to keep some things afloat, but that's exactly what the fuck is going on. Can I, just as a point of personal privilege, because look, when you kill a campaign using the death by 1,000 cuts, it is hard to argue which cut did the most damage. And there's a lot of people standing around with bloody razors in their hands arguing about who made the last cut when they are all equally wrong / responsible in my mind. So, but there are some folks out there that I've had some, let's just say some special vitriol for. And that's the uncommitted crowd. And I would like to take you, just introduce you. This is a short little clip of one of these assholes. On CNN, uncommitted movement looks ahead to Trump presidency. Oh, do they? I don't know. I'm fairly certain I know what their goal was, which was...
To be moronical. An imbecile. Like the dumbest motherfucker that ever lived.
That's right. That's what that seemed to be the goal for these fuckers. They were going to hold Democrats' feet to the fire so that they would threaten us with a Trump presidency. And what did they do? They ended up talking their own people into voting exactly that way. They didn't come home. They didn't turn around. The leaders of the organization ultimately voted for Harris, but the rank and file voted for Trump. Listen to this shit.
It looks like ethnic cleansing. It sounds like ethnic cleansing. It's an ethnic cleansing campaign in Gaza and the West Bank and southern Lebanon. And Mike Huckabee was just named as the guy who's going to oversee the final stages of that campaign. And so our message right now is to President Biden, you've got to do something about this. President Biden, stand up for once to Netanyahu before Donald Trump successfully gets away with pinning this legacy of this ethnic cleansing campaign on you and you alone forevermore.
Do you hear this, motherfucker? Do something, even though these assholes handed the reins of power to Donald Trump, but it's fucking Biden who was like walking this line between a country that had been attacked, having the right to defend itself, and the terrorists that were involved in this on Hamas, and not just Hamas, but like Islamic State in Gaza. Literally walking the line between these two, trying to keep Netanyahu on a shorter leash than he would have wanted to. And you motherfuckers decided to hold a gun to the, to his head figuratively in the presidency, and you pulled the fucking trigger. There is no there, motherfucker. He has no leverage. Netanyahu already made this fucking deal. You watched him do it. You motherfuckers stood outside the DNC full of people who were talking about a two-state solution and how there needed to be something done in Gaza, and Israel has the right to defend itself, but there should be limits on what it does, and having a real adult fucking conversation. You motherfuckers stood outside with your Genocide Joe bullshit, holding your fucking signs up and driving your voters away, not just not to vote for Harris, but to actively vote for Trump. And now it's on fucking Biden's head? You motherfuckers, eat shit. Shame on you. How dare you? The fucking nerve. And none of these motherfuckers, while they were outside the DNC, they were outside, the White House. Were they outside of Mar-a-Lago when Netanyahu was there? Nope. Did they protest at the airport when Netanyahu landed? Nope. Did they protest at Trump rallies where he was saying this shit, or even right after recordings had come out and conversations and leaks that he had been saying to Netanyahu, do what you need to do what you gotta do? It's referring to the Gazans as cancer, as the problem, and you have to get it over with quickly. Where were they? I'll tell you where they were. They were bullshitting this whole time. This motherfucker, you cannot be this stupid. I find it shockingly hard to believe that someone is that fucking dumb. And so I will assume, sir, Abbas Alaway, this dude from Uncommitted in the Michigan delegate, this motherfucker, I will assume that you meant to do it. That either it's a Sunni Shia thing, or you just side with the Egyptian government or the Jordanians, where they're just like, can we fucking get this over with? Can we just let Netanyahu kill the fucking Palestinians so we can all go back to normal? That's the only excuse. Nobody's this fucking stupid. In this situation, it's dumb or nefarious. It has to be one or the other. And at this point, it's so mind-bogglingly stupid, it has to be evil. Just fucking terrible. And now they're like, don't let Trump make this your legacy. Motherfucker, it's going to be Trump's legacy. He will be beating his chest about this shit. Nobody's going to be able to lay this at Biden's feet like it was his fucking problem, like you guys are trying to do. Can you imagine still trying to do that? Still make this fucking Biden's fault. You fuckers handed the reins of power to Donald Trump. What he does and the people he puts in, first of all, you shouldn't be shocked at all. And by the way, if I may, this asshole isn't the only one that's shocked. We've got one of the usual dipshits, good old Jimmy Dore. Apparently is having, I suppose, some buyer's remorse in this stuff. And again, I don't know the uncommitted guy. I've never met him. I don't know of him. I don't have a history of knowing him. But I think, Jimmy's just fucking evil. Look at the fucking title of this. Trump appoints rabid warhawks to cabinet. Motherfucker, you spent the entire campaign attacking Biden and Harris and boosting Trump. Trump appointed rabid warhawks to his cabinet because you helped him. He's got 317,000 followers on Rumble and close to 1 million, I think, on YouTube. That's an impactful channel. In an era where 1% shifted the vote in these states, and this motherfucker, what's with the fucking all caps yellow lettering, motherfucker? What are you, surprised? He's making Tulsi Gabbard the DNI. That's your favorite person. What do you think she's going to do? Get us out of wars, you weirdo? Listen to this shit. I haven't watched this at all. Let me see. But yeah, come see us
Everybody
do
come
stand-up.
see us on tour. We'll be in Columbia.
Yeah, motherfucker. Come see us do stand-up. We'll be on tour just doing our thing. But Gaza's going to be a fucking parking lot.
Columbus, Dayton, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Lexington, Kentucky, Burbank, California, and Honolulu. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.
Welcome to the Jimmy Dore.
Yeah. He's somebody else is filling in for him. He doesn't. Wait a minute. So Jimmy doesn't even have the fucking nuts to show up on his own goddamn show. Is he on vacation? My job is done here. Let Gaza burn.
Our show, Keaton Weiss here with Russell Dobular, filling in for Jimmy this week. We are going down the list of Trump cabinet appointees. Lots to get to. Here's one, National Security Advisor Mike Waltz.
All right, these motherfuckers just being like stunt Jimmies in this. What a fucking coward. What a fucking coward. Do we CSL, do we know where he is? I don't know if you're in the staff chat. Is he on, did he take a fucking vacation? This chintzy dickhead? I mean, because he totally would. That fucking totally tracks.
Trump confirmed Tuesday he appointed Representative Mike Waltz from Florida to serve as his national security advisor. In recent months, Waltz, a former Army Green Beret, has frequently criticized China, urged NATO members to pay more for defense, and said he expects Trump to push Ukraine and Russia towards a negotiated end to the Ukraine war. Elise Stefanik is the new UN ambassador.
All right, you don't get to list a motherfucker and just put this list up. I don't need to replay this. If Jimmy doesn't have the fucking balls to defend his shit, fuck that. Oh my God. What a coward. Like, everybody knows it was fucking, like, election night was rough for people who actually gave a shit, but here I am, kids. Didn't skip a fucking day. Right? Still standing here defending everything I believe in. Not shocked at all that it's going exactly like we warned it would if it went that way. And this motherfucker has his fucking pearl clutching thumbnails and bails. Fuck off. Oh my God. I'm sorry. We need I'm a little livid, as it were. You bravely ran away. Hit that like, everybody, because we're going to need them over the next little bit. Share the show as well, and patreon.com/Hal Sparks. And also, Super Chats, thank you. Biden is still letting the genocide continue as Bibi gives him the finger. I'm ashamed. What's Pentaxistine? Oh, yeah, I mean, ultimately, there is, I mean, are you serious on that? Or are you quoting that dude? I can't tell. Chutzpah. Thank you, Barbara. Erica says, no media of any sort since Wednesday. Zippo, nothing. Time to rejoin the Gray's live stream. Oh, well, thank you for coming back, Erica. I appreciate it. It's going to be all right. We're going to get you through it. But the question is, how many, what do you think the month countdown on this dude's lifespan is? I know what Ronnie Johnson said. Ronnie Jackson Johnson. John Jackson said about his he'd live to be 200 if he doesn't eat junk food, but it's not the case. And his brain is on a hard melt. Really fucking bad. 16? Yeah. 16's a good number. I agree. the question is, does Elon chip him, and do they pretend, or do they get that kind of stuff? But this is, by the way, I think this is a Justin Trump has epic plan to take back colleges. This is apparently new, and sorry, real quick. There may be a nunt sighting in this. I apologize. Sorry, everybody, if you have to deal with a nunt. I'm Hal Sparks. I'm Hal Sparksing this entire Hal Sparks in fucking time, and I will try to distract you as much as I can. But it's going to get a little nunty around here, no question. Also, follow me on Blue Sky at halsparks.com. Okay.
Tuition costs at colleges and universities have been exploding, and I mean absolutely exploding.
Are they really? Do they come in a box and wrapped in nails? Like, totally exploding. They've been going up, and I've come up with a plan to forgive some of the debt that people have taken on while the prices went up, and you're getting less for what you're doing. Yeah.
While academics have been obsessed with indoctrinating America's youth, the time has come to reclaim our once great educational institutions.
Hang on. If the price is going up for indoctrination, aren't people getting what they pay for?
From the radical left, and we will do that. Our secret weapon will be the college accreditation system.
Yeah, asshole. Only one will be accredited. Trump University.
Called accreditation for a reason.
Yes, because it means accreditation, and it is how people get the credentials by which you know they are a functioning university, unlike Trump University, for example.
The accreditors are supposed to ensure that schools are not ripping off students and taxpayers, but they have failed totally. When I return to the White House, I will fire the radical left accreditors that have allowed our colleges to become dominated by Marxist maniacs and lunatics.
Yeah, you're not going to take away a whole college's fucking accreditation system because the English lit department has a bunch of fucking, wannabe Hamas people going there, asshat. This is like 14 fucking people. You're going to attack the whole college? Yeah. Start with Harvard and Yale, motherfucker. First of all, everywhere fucking Matt Gaetz went and Rubio, fuck those dumps. Done. You can leave the Yale acting school because they've cranked out some pretty good people. But fuck them. Go ahead. Knock yourself out, asshole. It ain't going to do shit.
We will then accept applications for new accreditors who will impose real standards on colleges once again and once and for all.
Yeah, the 3 R's, read it and write and arithmetic.
These standards will include defending.
Also, why are there flecks of shit in is that kitty litter? That's kitty litter, isn't it? Yeah, I couldn't tell what it was in his hair. It might be blow.
The American tradition and Western civilization. Protecting free speech, eliminating wasteful administrative positions that...
How do you protect free speech if you're going to strip people's accreditation for what's being taught because you don't like it? Honestly, how is that not a violation of free speech? Shouldn't the school be able to teach whatever the fuck it wants as long as people keep showing up? As long as they're getting fucking diplomas and they can turn it into work, it's none of your fucking business. Honestly, isn't that a violation of free speech? Like that singularly? Because it seems like the only reason you're attacking these schools is because you don't like what like an eighth of the students do every 7 years.
Drive up costs incredibly. Removing all Marxist diversity, equity, and inclusion bureaucrats. Offering options for accelerated and low-cost degrees.
Also, where? In the schools? You can't do it. They're private, You'll just drive the endowments up, you fucking weirdo.
Providing meaningful job placement and career services, and implementing college entrance and exit exams to prove that students are actually learning and getting their money's worth.
No, you don't. I'm sorry. You don't have the right to do that on a certain level. It's college. It's university. It's after high school, motherfucker. You're not paying for it. The accreditation isn't based on whether or not they get federal funds directly. There's a lot of other reasons. You could be a fully accredited school, but you don't get any money from the federal government. You're allowed to do that. And increasingly, a bunch of them will, as they tell you to go fucking pound sand. And the states make up for it because all the blue states are. You think fucking New Haven, Connecticut is going to let you collapse Yale, you dumbass? Fuck it. But I would like to say Wharton should be on the chopping block. They don't teach shit.
Furthermore, I will direct the Department of Justice to pursue federal civil rights cases against schools that continue to engage in racial discrimination and schools that persist in...
Oh, you mean like Liberty University? Ouch.
Explicit, unlawful discrimination under the guise of equity will not only have their endowments taxed, but through budget reconciliation, I will advance a measure to have them fined up to the entire amount of their endowment.
You can't do that. Again, it's a violation of free speech. They can make their own decisions. If the fucking alumni and all, you can't wipe out their endowment through punitive fining. It's none of your fucking business. It's a private. Or it's not even like a lot of them are private universities. A bunch of them are state universities, you dumb motherfucker. The federal government has no oversight into what they do. They have national accreditation, but they'll give that to them anyways. What do you think they're going to take it away from Caltech because a bunch of people made some fucking spray painted signs? What the fuck? But this is all bullshit, by the way. Like, even the people who like him don't expect him to carry through with this. And even if he does, like, the lawsuits will just eat up their entire time. This is just goofy.
A portion of the seized funds will then be used as restitution for victims of these illegal and unjust policies.
What are you going to do? Pay dumb white kids who didn't get into school because a black kid that had the same test scores as them got picked because you kind of think they got picked because they were black instead of white, and you can prove that in a court of law, and you're going to hand over like illegally seized funds from accredited universities to randos who didn't make it into the school? What the dick?
Policies that hurt our country so badly. Colleges have gotten hundreds of billions of dollars from hardworking taxpayers, and now we are going to get this anti-American insanity out of our institutions.
So, let me get this straight. So, the HBCUs, which you specifically bragged about getting more money for them than ever, are specifically racially preferent. Like they are, the students are chosen through racial preference. You're just going to eliminate all that funding. So HBCUs funding gone. Because honest to God, that is right.
Going to get them for all.
Flagging. So I guess that's the HBCUs done and dusted. There you go. What the fuck? Seriously. And also I'm joking, kind of. But do you think Stephen Miller and the rest of these assholes wouldn't like to get rid of HBCUs because they do not think they would exist through merit alone? And they want to diversify HBCUs by forcing schools that go by racial preference directly to support like African Americans and black students all over the country. Right? You don't think they would want to get rid of that? You don't think that's next on the fucking chopping block? They got rid of the ruling that schools could use racial, preferential treatment in certain areas because they want to balance out the people at their school or make sure that other people get a shot just because it's on a 1-to-1. They can make a racial choice on a jump ball, as it were, as far as grades go. They won that in the Supreme Court. Where do you think this is going? Do you think these guys, do you think Trump and his clan believe that HBCUs have a right to exist? And religious schools, absolutely. Liberty University is is bigoted in their admissions. You have to be a Christian to go to that school. What the fuck is that? I expect a lawsuit on day one. I'm going to sign up for classes at Liberty University. And I should, obviously night classes. What'd you think I meant? Come on now. But I expect to walk around campus wearing heavy metal clothing at all times. Yeah. Brigham Young, same way. Loyola, absolutely. Oh, Liberty isn't accredited? Well, I mean, yeah, they are, because they have a law school there. You can get your law degree going through there. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they don't. Maybe you get instead of a diploma, you get a balloon. Who can say? But all this is just like fiction. It's fucking stupid. You'll be doing these streams in classroom for credit? Yes, I will consider doing the devil's work, and you can't have a God without a devil. I win. Somebody's got to be out there proving that sin is very, very real. So I will be doing my best to pull my own weight, as it were. Can I get you something? A balloon, maybe? Something doesn't look right. Here's the pump laser is down. I love you. I love you. Somebody out there knows the same movie lines that I do.
I was thinking of the immortal words of Socrates, who said,
all right. Anyways, this little clip was played on Dinesh D'Souza's channel. Huge news. Hashtag vindicating Trump. Again, I don't know how. Why would that be vindicating? Again, this goes to that whole thing about my buddy who went to that life-changing seminar, and I asked him how it was the day after he got back, and he said it changed my life, and I'm like, how do you know? It would only be vindicating if a decade from now they had gutted the educational system and everybody just got way smarter. It's weird. I mean, we all became flat earthers, but smarter, relative to, I don't know, a West Virginian who was denied oxygen in the womb. So you're watching Hal Sparks Megaworldwide, the greatest live stream in the history of live streams. I'm Hal Sparks, the greatest Hal Sparks in the history of Hal Sparkses. Please, in your Hal Sparks in life, don't forget to hit the like and share the show. Now, like I said, I feel like I can't bury the lead. I feel like we have to, I have to give you guys like a moment's peace, something that can bring you a little bit of joy. Okay? So today, officially, or the last night, I guess, The Onion bought Infowars, and they have the desk, and I have put up an offer to them to buy the desk. We'll see if they'll let me. If not, I will 3D print my own. That said, or if they're selling any of that gear, which they have a whole studio, so I don't doubt that they won't use the studio. That said, I would also like to do a show for The Onion. I will gladly do that as well. I'll do it for just the ad rev I sell during the segment. How about that? But apparently, this was Alex Jones was having a rough one because Infowars to close its doors on Wednesday. Infowars.com now redirects to, I think, a holding page. Does it? Hold on. I've got to, yeah. Let's see if I can find it. Hold on. This is so pretty. You want to see it? It's almost too beautiful. I'm afraid to show it to you. I'll show you what it looks like, and I just want you to feel this. This is Infowars.com. I never thought, in the circumstance that we're in, that I would ever feel joy again. I felt the exception of looking into the eyes of my beloved boy and my loved ones, where I can find some semblance of deep and abiding hope and joy, because that's what family and love and is. But I never thought I would look towards the interwebs and find any joy left in this world. But now when you go to Infowars.com, this is what you see. Just site unavailable till further notice. It's just adorable. I suppose there's some element of like, it's very small. Yes, the type is very small. Here, I'll see if I can blow it up for you. There you go. That's what it says. Can we just, I know, it's been a rough one. We've been having a rough one. It's been very difficult. But I just want you to put all the fear and the apprehension, which is valid. I'm not faulting you for feeling it. Put it aside for just one moment. And hold on for one more day. Cite. I think the most beautiful words in the English language, not tariffs. I've changed my mind. I've totally changed my mind. Cite unavailable till further notice. Apparently, until the dick pills start working, the site is down. A site is down. We've got a site down. So Infowars.com takes you to this. Goodbye, fuckhead. I suppose they still got their Rumble channel and stuff, because he just calls it the Alex Jones Show. But this little bug in the corner, that's got to go, man. You're in violation of the owner of the copyright of that particular channel. You might want to move your little fucking graphic there, dum-dum. But here goes. You know what? It's unfair.
Wednesday afternoon. Infowars, the equipment. Infowars.com. Infowarsstore.com.
Infowarsbuttlube.com, Infowarssureshot.com, Infowars, Alex has the biggest gag reflex in the history of the world.com. All of those sold in one small pack, one tiny wilting, one, it's cold outside, one teensy-tiny mushroom little package.
Whole bunch of other stuff is at a federal bankruptcy auction. From the fake judgments and the rigged trials where I was found guilty beforehand and they had literal show trials out of the Soviet Union or Nazi Germany.
Hey, asshole, just real quick. They keep bringing this shit up. Stalin-esque and whatever. You'd just be dead. You just, fuck, man. You had every chance. You had multiple. There was not a single Stalin trial or a single Hitler, Nazi trial where they put some poor Jews or some Bolsheviks or whatever on fucking trial, and where they got to try to maneuver their family heirlooms into bankruptcy court to make it look like they were broke when they weren't. They just raided the fucking house and beat the fuck out of everybody and took your golden paintings and just said, fuck you, you deserve it, and then set fire to everything else. And then they declared you guilty and shot you. Get the fuck out of here. These assholes have the biggest, Nerf. It's like Nerf Stalin. That's what you experienced. It's like Nerf Hitler. You went through Nerf show trials, motherfucker. You know those big fucking samurai suits you can wrestle in that are all just fucking, they're just a giant balloon? That's what this motherfucker thinks like it is to be in a real fight. God damn. What a fucking wuss.
Right when I walked in here during the break after getting a glass of water.
Yeah, which we will not, there will be no more water. Because Stalin wants people thirsty.
All the auctioneers inside the building, going around surveying from the last time they were here to make sure.
The auctioneers? Sorry, you had a bunch of people? How do you do a show with all them? Hey, who wants to die and dance? I don't know. Hal Sparks going about it. Giving us 75, but how much do I put this? Like 65 of those motherfuckers surrounding the entire studio. It's almost like they're trying to talk it to death, like some sort of tribe killing a tree in South America.
All the stuff's here. Everything tagged, everything marked. This desk, these tables, this microphone.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. And will there be a fumigation charge, I'm guessing?
They're in the control room right now.
They're putting little price tags on every switch. Okay, that's the $12 and $12 and $12 and $12 and $12 and $12. How many? This is a 32 channel board. How many do you use? 6. $12, $12, $12. 5 hours later. $15, $15, $15, $15, $15, $15. Now, the microphone. We're going to need some Clorox and a plastic bag.
So that's how close this is.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Now, good guys say,
just get a price gun. That's right. Turd Ferguson just hack, 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 hack. Oh, God. Please, someone put that on Pornhub.
they're going to buy it. Okay, they're good guys. They buy it. Who knows if they're really good guys once they buy it? You know, we got to.
Well, it's so nice looking back in time.
See, I don't.
Oh, yes, we did.
Count on any of that. And as the countdown goes down, if the bad guys do buy this in less than 48 hours,
What the fuck is he?
then we'll know. I'll keep broadcasting until they show up. They said they want to shut it down that day. They'll be here, and they're going to come in, and they're going to flip a switch in there. I'm gonna make them do that.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Is this Deep Impact? Is he playing clips from Deep Impact? The fuck is this?
Here.
Oh, is that Armageddon? I always get those confused. You're right. Armageddon's the one where they go to the thing. Deep Impact's where it comes to us. Okay, sorry. Thank you very much. I get they all kind of all those movies go together. I only know like most of them. I only know because of clips from them that are in Aerosmith videos.
Right to the last minute because we don't quit to the last minute.
Glass. Who gives a shit about Glass? Get the other guy on the phone.
And then I'm going to get in the new ship. I'm going to step into the new ship and continue on. But.
Is that the name of the new ship? It makes sense. I think naming it Butt is a great idea. Yeah. I mean, it lowers the chance that somebody will try to steal the URL from you later.
The ship is not properly fueled. It is.
No, it's not. Friends with you can't call Elon.
Does not have everything done to it. It needs.
It does not have everything done to it. It needs. And you can tell this guy talks for a living. Hold on. Bullshit. And okay, here we go. This is the same shit. Yeah, it's bullshit.
About a week and a half ago, I cut that little announcement you just saw, and I said in a couple of weeks we could be shut down. Well, now it's not a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we know. We're all enjoying it.
It's Wednesday afternoon.
Yes, that is true. When it's a Wednesday and it's the Wednesday you're talking about, that's not a couple weeks away. Just saying.
Infowars, the equipment, Infowars.com.
Okay, they always do this fucking loopy shit.
Now, good guys say they're going to buy it.
Okay, let's get ahead.
To just kind of walk along. I want to run. I want to accelerate. Plus, these are amazing products. I need you to make the decision right now.
Oh my God, he's just trying to move all the shit off the shelves before they buy it. Like he's like, I need you to buy these dick pills by 3. Hold on. Yeah, for real.
And if we had plenty of funds, I'd tell you that. We don't. We have barely enough to just.
We got gas money home, and I still got to decide which of my homes I get to go home to. Everybody else here lives in an apartment. I got 2 ranches. I mean, 3. One they know about, and the other 2 I'm just mentioning because, I think we've successfully hidden them away, but...
kind of walk along. I want to run. I want to accelerate.
That's right. I want the wind blowing through my beard.
Plus, these are amazing products. I need you to make the decision right now.
Okay. Hold on. Making the decision. No. I made my decision. Yep. Just say it. No. That decide means to cut off from. So cutting off yes and going with no. Just say it.
This is about action. That's why we overrode the fraud and why we won and we weren't bullied and we got Trump in and now we got to get him inaugurated and we've got to fight once he's in there. We've got to be his intel, grassroots that exposes bad people if they slip into the administration.
Too late.
Our most important work wasn't last week, and that was a huge victory. It's now. The real heart of the battle is now, and you know that. So, keeping the Alex Jones show on the air is critical. So if you go to the alexjonesstore.com,
Yeah, I'm not going to... Yeah, by the way, he started all those Alex Jones stores to get around the Infowars stuff.
Everybody that's going to buy something there, whether it's Incredible Supplements or the Great Patriot Apparel or limited...
The Great Patriot. Hold on. That sounds like the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Hold on. Shall we check it out? The Alex Jones store. Yes. Very cryptic. Whoops, sorry. Hold on. Alex Jones store. There it is. .com. There you go. He's giving away a Ford F-150. You can 10x your. Here's this. Yeah, you can't sell that anymore. Can't sell that anymore. The Alex Jones VIP Club. Yikes. Was he give you a lap dance? That's fucking gross. Some people say there's no sex in a champagne room. That is not at all the case. As long as you got plenty of penis force, which is our number one penile supplement. It's a suppository form. It comes in a teeny little pill you pound into the head of your penis we give you a little mallet. It hurts at first, but then it really stings. Alex, limited edition, you think? Fundraiser shirt, right. Back to back to back. What? What do you... Oh, that's because they think he was president during Biden's presidency. Ultimate probiotic. Do you find yourself waking up in the middle of the night screaming, UFOs are coming to get me, and shit the bed? Our premium ultimate probiotic will clean you right the hell out. I have been known to take an entire bottle of these, and I lay on a seesaw, and Owen gets behind me with a funnel and it's not important, but the thing is, all you need is one of those little hand blenders if you're squeamish. And then he'll blow it straight in, and it works like a charm. That was bullshit to start with. Sleep gummies, that's the important thing. If you're having a hard time staying awake because you believe that they're putting stuff in the water to make everyone go to sleep, take our sleep gummies and go to sleep. We got, or you can double them up. The sleep gummies and the wake gummies. Having trouble falling asleep? Take these. Having trouble getting up because of the sleep gummies? Take these. Just have a partner. Sometimes I sleep with my mouth open. There's basically what I do is I have Owen walk over and pull the hose out of my CPAP and then just drop one of these things in the morning. That's what happens. And then 1776, when tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. You said duty. 1776. Was that your weight or your waistline? That's like Mount Douchemore. Nice head, dummy. You couldn't make his neck thicker? Jesus Christ. It looks like a rhino who lost his horn. You think he's being sued for all this shit? The revenge of the middle class. Get the fuck out of here. Trump won, T-shirts, Infowars stuff. Rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God. Whatever. Fuck off. Live free or die. I'm thinking. We are not descended from fearful men. No, you're fearful yourself. That's right. I guess fearlessness is not hereditary, is your point, and I agree. Never surrender. Whatever. He surrendered. Don't snack on me. Oh, I get it, because they're eating the cats, right? That's the thing. Whatever. Oh, you can't go wrong with the cheapest rubber bracelets. The answer to 1984 is 1776. I disagree, because 1984 is a fucking fantastic Van Halen record, and I have yet to hear anybody put an album together called 1776 that wasn't just complete ass. Today's conspiracy theories are tomorrow's truths. No, they are not. Hey, now that he's no longer got a fucking channel, here's all his, I'm a big fan. Man, I bought my radio and I listened to you on the shortwave. Fluoride. Look at this shit. Fluoride. There is poison in the tap water. I'm wearing it right now. They've got a fluoride in the tap water shirt. They do. View product. What the fuck? There is fluoride. What the fuck? I can't see what the tiny part of it says. Whatever. It's too small. So anyways, infotools.com.
Knives. Needs to be a VIP member. You spend $30.
Oh my God. Get an autographed fucking knife. Jesus Christ. How many fucking lot lizards have been murdered by psycho end times truckers tooling around this country, cutting them to pieces with a fucking Alex Jones knife? I'm kidding. It's plastic.
$1 a month. It's a subscription. It cancel at any time.
Yeah. I mean, it does take a court order, and you have to send in your last payment in a notarized cashier's check written in a bank of Alex's choosing. But yeah, close enough.
And you get $40 to spend in the store.
What? $40? That'd give me like 8 dick pills and 2 brain pills. Real quick, do the brain pills work? Because I'm worried that if I take them first, I'll realize that I've been ripped off on the dick pills, and I'm very angry.
Everybody, if you're going to support, should be a VIP member. The Alex Jones store.
Why is your store pulsing like someone's chest in Videodrome.com/Alex.
We'll take you to particular shirts I like, but if you go to thealexjonesstore.com/VIP.
Jesus Christ. Listen to this motherfucker. Sell us on it, man.
At thealexjonesstore.com/VIP. And if you really want to support us, because there's not much markup on the supplements and most of the t-shirts, but if you get the classic navy blue Infowars shirt with the red Infowars on it and the American flag on the right shoulder,
you will be supporting the Onion going forward.
That is $50, so we actually get some real money in.
Yeah, but I think they're gonna. I'm pretty sure anyone that isn't shipped into like by the time the place sells, you're gonna owe the Onion money.
Because the average shirt costs printed and made $15-16 is their quality. Then if you're getting an XXL or bigger, they could cost up to $18 for the shirt. Well, then our sponsor gets part of the money, and their crew and their factories and their people have to make some money. So we end up getting.
Yeah, it's his buddy has the place in Texas, and he doesn't buy them there. He ships them in from Mexico.
Half of what's there. Well, on that we get like $6-7.
Wow, fabulous! So you're selling. You just sell the dick pills out of the goodness of your heart. There's no profit to be made, you fucking commie.
$8 if it's a smaller shirt. That's great. We got to sell a lot of shirts to get some real money in there.
Yeah, you're not going to. And the minute you do, they own the Infowars trademark too, stupid.
At $25, $30, with ball caps, all that. But when you get the classic Infowars shirt, you really support it.
God damn, this is so wonderfully pathetic. Guys, I have a hard time selling my own t-shirts and shit just cuz, you know what I mean? Just doing it. Just like it's weird to me. And I have some good ones, god damn it. Right? But God, this is just fucking cringe. This is probably why he's one of the reasons I hate selling my own merch, is because of fuckers like him. You know what I mean? Like, there's a thing in YouTube where I can get it to like post a shirt for sale or whatever. I'm not going to do it now. It's embarrassing. But you can put it in the chat so it's pinned and people can buy it from there, and it does that. It's in the thing below, but you can make it happen in the chat. And it shouldn't be a big deal, but it creeps me the fuck out. Like, I feel like I'm like, hey, man. Like, in the middle of trying to do a show, I'm like pulling out merch during the show. And it's not even something I'm physically doing. It just happens, right? And I'm just like, ah. Yes, I am wearing one of them because it was cold in here. Yeah, this is the Zoltan jacket. This is not one of the ones that I sell very often. This one I literally made because I wanted it. One of the coolest things about these sites that make your own merch is that you can buy them at cost. They're still expensive, but you can buy them at cost. Oh, they cost me about like $25, but like to get a shirt like this made by somebody else costs you about $35. So I figure I'm going to save just design my own shit, right? So I made a Zoltan jacket just to see if it would print out nicely, and I made myself one so I could wear it like an asshole. And it's good stuff. But like most of the time, you guys know this. Like, I'll occasionally throw on my Zoltan shirt, my NFT shirt, which I think is pretty fucking great, and it's just going to become even more relevant now that there are all these crypto dickheads in the White House.
So please get that shirt. It's on the front page of the.
Yeah, no. I will be buying one of the Onion Infowars shirts. I'm sure it should just say, like, in the red, they should just make this exact shirt, but like theonion.com or, Cry Alex Cry or something just in the red line of this. Or maybe they're just going to let people make knockoffs of this, in which case I'll make an Infotainment Wars one that looks just like that. In a fucking heartbeat.
AlexJonesStore.com. Also, something that's a fundraiser, and they're all fundraisers, but the real items, if you really want to support, are limited edition, 2 Infowars posters that are very handsome and historic, and memento that you supported the fight for the Republic as a Paul Revere at a critical time.
Yes, and they're very they're absorbent, and they come in 2-ply or quilted.
And the Star Wars-esque fun poster.
Star Wars-esque. Star Wars, what the fuck?
With myself and the crew on it. That's the most popular. And those are limited edition, and we get real funds in when you do that. It's all
Infowars lives forever. Yes, it does, at theonion.com.
All there at the AlexJonesStore.com.
Did he just say .com? I think he said .com.
Limited edition. And we get real funds in when you do that. It's all there at the AlexJonesStore.com.
Yep. Yeah. He just said .com. All right. Well, I was going to the completely wrong website, and I'm not about to type that into my URL. That is not going to happen. Yeah, in case you missed that, one more time.
And those are limited edition.
Yes, they are.
We get real funds in when you do that. It's all there at the AlexJonesStore.com.
All right, sure. Well, I'm not doing it. I honestly, look, I use saucy language, but I'm not going to bring up those kind of images on my live stream. I'm just not going to do it. It's going to get me kicked off of a site. I just know it. I'm going to get I'm going to get violated off of a platform if I put that on there, if I do say so my damn self. I'm not putting anybody's .com address on. I would also say that I would expect that if you were taking, dick pills that actually worked, you'd make more than a dot. You know what I mean? It sounds like there's something wrong. I would probably see a doctor, or at least loosen the rubber band. Sorry.
Then.
No. I'm sorry. Okay.
If you go to our other sponsor that's critical to the future of this operation.
No. Come on. That's the Star Wars poster he was talking about. Get the fuck out of here. Wait. Where's that? Hold on. Wait, no. Never no. Where is it? Victory collection? No. Flags, decals. I guess it's got to be the victory collection. No, that's not it. Where's the posters? Is it? Where are the posters? Is in this one? Where they don't link to the other posters? Hold on. It can't say Star Wars. He'll get sued. So it's just got to be like limited edition limited. All right. I don't know. Search. They're all limited edition. How am I supposed to find that shit? Fundraiser. Please get sued. There it is. Oh my fucking God. What an asshole. Open image in new tab. Jesus Christ. I'm fucking embarrassed. I'm cringing. This is terrible. Alex Jones, you are the resistance. What the fuck? And wait, so the dude from the World Economic Forum is Darth Vader, but Trump is the emperor. And the World Economic Forum is the Death Star, and Trump is the emperor. And I don't know where the fuck these alleged titties came from, and his head is very small. This has got to be from the .com website, right? It's got to be. Alex Jones, Chase Geyser. That's these guys. That's Chase, and that's Owen, I guess. Why is Olaf? What's his name's fucking lightsaber way bigger than yours? And why does he have a piss yellow blaster? And also, why are there why are there airplanes in space? Is this space 9/11? What the fuck? F-16 Twin Towers and 767. Oh yeah. These are F-16s. This is the Twin Towers are on the World Economic Forum planet, and the planes are hitting the... Who the fuck? And I don't know what these American flag... Like who this dude being C-3PO and his space dildo are. Good God.
drjonesnaturals.com. That's my dad. Retired.
That's my dad. He one time he sat down next to me on a log and he said, "Son, hear me out. Dick pills."
Doctor, his supplement company, huge sponsor, great supplements. The next level fund.
Fuck off. You moved your shit over to his account so that you could make money off of it without them seizing it, because they can't take your father's property, you bastard. He didn't come up with these things. Fuck you.
Facial energy is next level. It isn't a stimulant, but it feels like one with no letdown. It's the breakdown of folic acid that most people can't break down folic acid. It's the
most people can't break down folic acid.
Engine of the cells, cleans out the mitochondria, antioxidant, everything. Gets you in 30 minutes. No letdown. And if you don't have a problem processing folic acid.
Because sometimes, okay, if you're gonna, this one of those pills that if you got to be careful when you take it, because that sound is coming out of my penis. It just makes you shoot blanks, which sometimes when I'm peeing, no water comes out at all, and it makes the same noise as one of those clown balloons having the air let out of it. Dear God.
Acid, that's what's in spinach. That's why Popeye's strong with the finish. He eats the spinach. You'll just.
That's why Popeye's strong to the finish because he eats the spinach. Is that why it is? That's fuck me.
Get some energy, but most people have issues with it, and it's incredible. So take one pill at first.
Yeah, don't take a bunch of them right away. Buyer beware, because if I take more than two, I can't stand near a urinal without just blowing urinal cake chunks on everyone around me. I've been beat up in so many truck stops for free, so that's a bonus.
Next level financial energy. Also, there are two new great products. They're just staples. Everybody knows.
All right, get the fuck out of here with this selling shit. I want to hear you bitch, you dummy. Stop selling your crap. Look at this. It's a fucking telethon. And then they loop this shit. Hold on. What's he talking about?
All I care about is freedom.
All I care about is freedom. Making sure women don't have the freedom to get an abortion if they need one, and so they can die of an ectopic pregnancy in a fucking parking lot. That's all I care about. All I want is the freedom. I want Donald Trump to have the freedom to shut down news organizations he doesn't like out of revenge, because I feel like I should have been able to torment the parents of dead kids.
And you've invested so much here, it'd be like building a beautiful brand new house.
Okay. It's a lot like that. How is it like that?
And then just burning it down when it's done.
Well, I mean, in my defense, I came across this house, and it was and someone in the house was chucking turds at everybody who walked by, and the place had black mold and had asbestos and lead. All the paint was lead and everything, and it needed to be taken down for the health and safety and welfare of everyone around. So, not quite a sound analogy, but I'm with you. Okay. And this cup, I had to borrow this cup from a friend of mine. He had it in his truck.
Or having a child you've raised since it was born that you love, and then at 18, just throwing it into a wood chipper.
I'm sorry. You have an 18-year-old child, and their pronouns are it. No, I think, I mean, honestly, it'd be a little more like you are a shitty parent, which I'm sure you are, and you raise a child till they're 18 years old, and they commit a series of crimes, and they need to go to jail for those things because they're an adult now. Whereas before, they'd been committing crimes for quite some time, and they managed to get away with it because they weren't an adult yet, but then they kept doing it after they became an adult, and therefore they had to pay restitution and go to jail. It's a lot more like that.
So, this is history. I want to thank those that have supported. I want to.
What about those of us that didn't? I was on your fucking show. I mean, hey, I'm part of this history. I made fun of you to your fucking face.
Tell those that haven't supported, now is the time. The AlexJonesStore.com and drjonesnaturals.com.
Yeah, I don't think it's the time. I mean, I'll tell them that if you want me to, but I don't believe it. I mean, they'll know. They'll know I'm not, because my heart's not in it, Alex. They're gonna know.
It's very frustrating, and I'm not complaining. God's great. God's good.
God's great, God's good, God's average, God sucks, God's really pissing me off, I gotta be honest. If I keep talking about him, I'm gonna get struck by lightning.
You can also go to alexjones.live. Alexjones.live is a subpage at alexjones.network. And
great.
The shopping carts, the sponsors, the Vimeo, the Bitcoin donation buttons there. Boy, it'd be nice if somebody go in there and give us some Bitcoin. Hell, we got Trump in, Bitcoin's exploded. Why didn't everybody out there that made a bunch of money because Trump got in take part of your profit and help us? And all in out.
I know why. Because they're a bunch of selfish fucks. That's why they like Trump in the first place. So why would you expect to get a fucking freedom dividend, you commie fuck?
That's how much came in. And if we get some big donations, I'll shut up for the next couple of months. I won't even need money.
Yeah, people, dude. I would rather you have to talk for free than pay you to shut up. Honestly. If you're going through hell, keep going.
But I need it right now. So.
Tough shit. What do you need? Bus fare? Because I got to tell you, you're like the guy that is at the off-ramp when you roll up and you're like, this guy looks a little too healthy to help. You know that thought that it crosses everybody's mind? You look at somebody and you're like, this person is in dire straits. This person needs my help. And then there's somebody there who's like, I'll be honest, I just need a beer. And you're like, man, kind of fuck you. You're that dude.
That's it. Plus the great products. TheAlexJonesStore.com, drjonesnaturals.com.
Yeah, all right. This dude is literally like every other fucking lame ass mega church has turned his fucking show into a vending machine because he's a fucking dumbass. And can I just say, fuck you, Alex. He'll have the Alex Jones show, but it won't be Infowars. And he'll accidentally say it, and they'll send a cease and desist, and it'll be great. And they'll run corresponding shows using all the back, because I think they buy the backlog of all the recorded shows as well. I'm just saying you could really make some great kind of comedy cartoon fun out of that shit. I mean, you own the backlog, you own all of it. Just saying. Now, a lot of people are worried, and rightly so, about RFK Jr. being Health and Human Services Secretary and all that kind of stuff, which, again, if you live in a state that gives a shit about its people, well, we're going to be okay. The idea that they're not going to give funding to schools that have vaccine mandates for polio or whooping cough or any of that shit that is just fucking dumb. What they mean is COVID, and even then, like, you're gonna have to make sure your kids are vaccinated, because the soft herd immunity isn't going to exist, and these fuckers are just going to be like, I think they consider it a feature, not a bug, that people are going to die of infectious disease under RFK Jr. That said, there's one person that probably, arguably, could be worse if they were HHS than Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and that's this dude. Dr. Drew, Dr. Pinsky. His name is not Dr. Drew any more than Phil McGraw's name is Dr. Phil. First of all, Phil McGraw is not licensed to practice medicine or be a psychiatrist, so the doctor part of him, he can go fuck himself. Drew is, but he's basically been a barnacle on the addiction, like the prurient, like addiction exploitation aspect of of reality television for years. But if it was Dr. Drew, because he doesn't have the issues that RFK Jr. has with his voice, he could do a lot more damage. Just as stupid, fucking awful. But he goes, this is him talking, I guess, about The View on Fox News. Dr. Drew, vulnerable people have been propagandized to the point they become mentally ill. But enough about MAGA. Let's see.
All right, here with reaction, he is the chief patient officer at the wellness company. Dr. Drew Pinsky is with us.
The chief patient officer at the wellness company. Oh, that guy at that place, at hospital.org.
All right, so women are...
Also, I don't even know what the fuck that is. Can you have more? It sounds like a made-up title. It sounds like a made-up company with a made-up title, because he lost his show or something. Or they don't want to talk about his that basically he's a podcaster and has been since the 90s.
Shaving their heads. They're pledging to either divorce their husbands or partners or don't have sex with them. They're stockpiling abortion pills. They're getting advice from the Washington Post on how to leave the country. Maybe they believe their own lies or the lies that were told during, and the hyperbole and the hype and the misinformation during the campaign.
What was the misinformation? Again, Pinsky here is going to jump in and go, it's all overblown. Women can just drive across the border and get an abortion. It's not a thing.
Because there's no...
Who gives a fuck if women are second-class citizens in America? So saith Dr. Pinsky.
Reason to leave. I will be the first person to stand up for their right to say stupid things if they want.
Yep.
Who gives a shit what... We're not talking about what they can say, motherfucker. Women still have freedom of speech, unless they use those words, I guess, to ask for abortive care that they need, in which case, in some states, they can be jailed for simply wanting it. Especially if they're having a miscarriage and they need it.
Yep. Well, I'm just glad to see that they moved from the blue talisman over their face and nose to a blue talisman bracelet on their wrist, because it's the same damn thing. And the whole headline here, Sean, is hysteria.
Oh, yes. Hysteria. Now, if you want to point out just how fucking clueless you are, using the term hysteria when you're talking about women's concerns, fears, apprehensions, or even panic about the loss of their bodily autonomy, it just shows you what an asshole you are. And let me give you an example. Fuckface. All right. If you get your appendix taken out, it's an appendectomy, right? They take your appendix out. But if you get your uterus removed, it's not called a uterectomy. It's called a hysterectomy because it is perceived that it was making the woman hysterical. And we need to cut this thing out. We'll take the hysteria out of her. You fucking bastard. Now, I got to say, in all fairness, I must say that I think since probably around, I don't know, maybe 2003, when I really got wise to who this fucker was, I have hated Drew Pinsky with a passion. This motherfucker, anybody who doles out medical advice over the radio to people he has not met about what kind of medications they should or shouldn't be on is a fucking quack. That said, since then, he's become just a Trump apologist. And the idea that women in this country might be concerned that states will put limits on their ability to travel out of state to get health care that they need to save their fucking lives, or even their ability to have children, or just simply to exercise their right to bodily autonomy. And this motherfucker's like, these bitches in their stupid bracelet. What the fuck?
Hysteria and delusion, and the source of this has been mainstream media.
Fuck you. You're on mainstream media, you asshole. Fox News is the #1 cable news network, and it has been ever since Rupert Murdoch bought the Nielsen rating company. Coincidence? I think not.
The American public has been propagandized to the point that they literally become mentally ill. And the thing about delusionality is it can't be reasoned with.
Hey, asshole. Explain to me the delusion where women perceive that in some states they have the right to an abortion and seek abortive care, and they don't have any issue going into a hospital or a doctor's office and going, something's wrong with my pregnancy and I'm bleeding and all that, and they don't have to sit in a fucking waiting room while they decide if you're sick enough. And other states you do. Okay? Explain to me where the delusion is there. I think the delusion genuinely is, you want to talk about somebody who's been bullshitted by mainstream media or their own media diet, it's this motherfucker who seems to think because he can move to any state in this country and maintain the exact same rights that somehow, what are these bitches whining about? That's this fucker.
We've literally been through a stage of delusion that started with the first Trump presidency. It was put into...
What was the delusion? Motherfucker! He put in Supreme Court justices that eliminated a woman's right to choose. It wasn't a delusion. If anything, we now know women were every bit, they were completely justified in panicking about it.
Absolute orbit with COVID. We now have the new HHS document that showed how the propaganda was done, how many hundreds of millions of dollars were spent, and vulnerable people were...
Also, it's not propaganda if you're just trying to message to save as many lives as possible. And it's not propaganda if you use the best available knowledge you have or the best possible options in an unknown pandemic with a novel pathogen where you try everything to mitigate the number of deaths you possibly can, and the whole world is reacting similarly. So it's not like the United States did this weird fucking doming of its citizens and everybody else was like, what the fuck is their problem? It didn't work like that. This motherfucker, god damn.
Are affected by this. And I would say the way to deal with your family the members that are like this, compassionate firmness. What
do you mean compassionate firmness? I'm sorry. So if a wife doesn't want to have sex with her husband because of how he voted, he should be compassionately firm with her? What do you think? Was that marital rape, you fucking cretin? What are you talking about?
Not rationality, not discourse, because argumentation will not work. They're delusional. But firmness. Because the reality is, this is...
The man does not know he's fucking crazy. I mean, if anything, he should have an honorary doctorate in irony.
Is like a cult. What do cults do? They separate families. They separate the cult member from the family. And this is how they get their way. We must fight against that.
No. Also, women are being separated because their partner made a decision about the abstract of their rights. You marry someone, or you're in a relationship with someone, and they vote in a way that turns you into a second-class citizen, that codifies it, that says not only is that true right now, but I think it should be the law. I don't think anybody should be able to fix it. I think women should have to ask their husbands if they move from one state to another. I think women should have to set up some sort of like fucking underground railroad if they have an ectopic pregnancy, because they bit the apple in the first place, and if they fuck around, they got to find out.
All right, if you look at the 9 years and every major newspaper in the country, 3 broadcast channels in the country, every liberal news channel in the country, it was almost 24/7. I hate Donald Trump. Donald Trump's bad. He's evil. He's this. He's that.
Sure.
The amazing thing to me
is, well, I think, what's the amazing thing to me? The amazing thing to me is this. The amazing thing to me, Dr. Pinsky and Sean, is that you guys give this a fucking pass. Why in the world would anybody go, fuck that dude? Have you heard Sean Hannity talk shit about Bill Clinton because he had an affair in the White House that was consensual with an adult? Are you fucking kidding me? Jesus Christ. Send this video to Dr. Drew, because fuck that guy. I am embarrassed to say that I, at one point, thought he was a reasonable human being. And it may have simply been that he was, and he's the one who entered a cult. This is fucked up. There is no justification for supporting a dude who gleefully, braggadociously partied with Jeffrey Epstein for 2.5 fucking decades, wished Ghislaine Maxwell well when she was arrested because something happened to her boyfriend while he was in jail. I don't know, whatever. And then when he's literally asked, what are you going to do with the Epstein file? Well, I don't know if I'll do that. I mean, I'm probably the other stuff, yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of phony stuff in there. I probably won't release the Epstein stuff, but, and then we now know that not only was he friends with Epstein past the time when they made up this bullshit story that he kicked him to the curb for trying to fuck a girl at Mar-a-Lago, when in reality, I mean, even then, again, that's fucking gross. That's gross. Basically, what Trump was saying, even in this apocryphal bullshit story, if you believe it, was that, look, I don't mind if you fuck the high school girls in the neighborhood. They're poor, but don't fuck around with my business, around here, the members of the club and their daughters. That's what he means. It's the idea that, like, fucking Drew Pinsky's like, why did they hate him so much? How about that? I mean, that's enough. I don't need anything else. And never mind the fucking fact that he, like, was going to get out of Afghanistan, never fucking did. Didn't do any of the homework when he did set up a plan. Dealt with the Taliban, released 5,000 fucking enemy combatants before our people were even leaving the country. He did that first, months before, so they could spread out and take control of the country. That's pretty fucking terrible. We now know he shared intel with the Russians that got Israeli like spies killed, essentially. That should be enough. Did Mexico pay for the wall? No. Did the wall work? No. But was he a pig that shit on everybody that didn't bow down to him? He limited aids to states that needed it simply because he didn't think the governor was deferential enough to him, even though the states are full of Americans. In some cases, states he won. That's why. It's not propaganda. That's real. They hung out. They were buddies. Pinsky's a fucking creep. This isn't propaganda. I don't know how you have to be in a cult to breeze past him being friendly with Epstein, and you're just like, man, I don't give a fuck. And then he puts 3 people on the Supreme Court that take away a woman's right to choose and limit women's rights in half the states in the fucking country so far, where if they move there and they have to take into consideration, do I have to worry about getting an ectopic pregnancy or something goes wrong, and this state will not treat me. They will just tell me to go sit in the car in the parking lot until you bleed to death. That's real.
The outcome of this election, all the celebrity endorsements didn't matter. All the musicians playing concerts, that didn't matter. All of the legacy media attacking Trump didn't matter. And the American people didn't listen to them. And I've been...
Again, it's within the margin of error. It's like a 2% difference. Fuck off. He didn't win 60-40. He didn't win 70-30. There's a bunch of muck-ups and shit we have to do on our side, but calm the fuck down.
Making the statement that legacy media in America is dead. Am I wrong? Because if they had any...
Fox News is legacy media.
...influence at all, this would not have been the blowout election it became.
As my old friend Adam Carolla said to me just yesterday, he said it's like they had a magic wand and the batteries worn out. They're shaking the wand, but the batteries aren't working anymore. And so the reality is, and this is the way I've been thinking about it, it's that this is old-timey stuff. These celebrities are celebrities from the 70s and 80s who used to have sway over our culture.
Those are the maggot ones, dummy. What are you talking about? That's Kirk Cameron. That's Kevin Sorbo. That's John Voight. What the fuck? Fucking Taylor Swift came out to support her. Usher did. What are you talking about?
And the people that are advocating these old-timey strategies. Look, Joe Rogan has the influence, not Julia Roberts. And people cannot...
It wasn't... Not Julia... Okay, first of all, Joe Rogan's influence is not allegedly a celebrity influence because he's no longer a stand-up, and you can argue he never was. The dude was on, on News Radio, and suddenly Susan?
Get that into their heads. There are people, I was talking to a 40-year-old today, didn't really know who Johnny Carson was, didn't really understand who Valerie Bertinelli was, who was attacking me and...
Sorry, why are you bringing this up to this strange 40-year-old?
Adam Carolla during the COVID epidemic. They never heard of these people, and if they had heard of them, they have no real relevance in their life. It's old.
Who gives a fuck? Wait a minute. Why the fuck do you think Johnny Carson comes into this at all? You fucking weirdo.
Old-timey, old-fashioned. It is time to move on to the new era. The late night is gone. So many things are over. Gutfeld is the king of late night. He still has sway, but this is a new way of doing things.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have sway. He preaches to his own choir.
Well, I would argue in terms of late night comedy shows, I mean, the countdown to cancellation is on. I don't think those shows will survive. And that means Kimmel, that means Colbert, that means Fallon, because they're not.
This is, by the way, the same thing that they said when Trump took office the first time.
Funny, and Greg Gutfeld is funny.
No. All right. Look, I understand you got to play fast and loose with the facts, Sean. That's your raison d'etre in life. That's your that's the guiding. That's your lodestar, I think, is what Mike Pence would call it for your show. But you don't have to be mean to Gutfeld. Of course, he's not funny.
You got to laugh. You mentioned Julia Roberts. It might have been the funniest political ad in some ways, but the saddest in another way, where she is
this woman
telling people, narrating a video of a wife going into a voting booth. You don't have to tell that evil husband of yours that you're not voting for Trump. Your vote is private. Or George Clooney doing the same thing on the other end. You can still be a bro and act like you're voting for Trump.
I got to tell you, if that's actually, listen, if that was actually, I'm a mandated reporter in my state. If that is actually going on, I have to fill out a bunch of paperwork to report these people for domestic abuse. And that leads to domestic violence.
What the fuck? You're a mandated reporter? Sorry. So if a partner lies to their partner about some detail that is important in their own life, you have to report that because they're going to catch a beating? What the? No, you don't. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, at this point, someone needs to remove his tie. I think he's being denied oxygen. Either that or he's doing this from he's in the air on an airplane. They've got a backdrop behind him, because he's traveling someplace and they've lost pressure in the cabin.
Are they implying that all marriages in this country are just on the...
No, they are not. They are reminding women, especially in a situation where women's rights are being denied in certain states, that they have the right to vote privately no matter what. And a lot of women who were first-time voters in many ways voted that on their own. There was the lady Betty that everybody knows about, who her husband died. She had never voted because her husband insisted that he votes for the family. She had a ballot. She would fill it out as he told her to, but she'd never voted on her own. She voted for the first time on her choices this time around.
Verge of domestic violence? Is that the implication?
No. It's just that it's private. And a lot of it has to do with relationships, not the marriages. But whatever. This is just weird. And by the way,
I would say there are many more men keeping their mouth shut about what they were doing in the voting booth.
They're saying lie to your husband and lie to your best friends instead of are you that?
It's so sick.
But they lack pride in their candidate. They have to hide their vote and not admit what they really believe. First.
Yeah, hey, asshole, neither of you have to worry about catching a beating. This asshole just said one of the reasons they have to hide this stuff is because they're worried about domestic violence. That's what they're talking about. That's why some of these women are concerned. Good Lord.
First of all, is that a real marriage? Is that a real friendship? I don't think so.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Client number 3 of Michael Cohen.
We have a saying in my field: is you're as sick as your secrets. How about the fact that we...
Yeah, that's a good point. You know what? You're as sick as your secrets. So I think Sean Hannity should come clean right now. Why did he hire Michael Cohen? Obviously, Michael Cohen can't talk about it because he was a lawyer and is, attorney-client privilege, and he doesn't want to go to jail for even breaking that after he loses his law license. That's part of the deal. So I think Sean is as sick as his secrets. Why? Yeah. Why was he a client of Michael Cohen's? Why was he client number 3 of a guy who was only a fixer?
Couldn't express ourselves. I don't know if you experienced this, but I noticed that after the election, when the American people made a pretty substantial statement, you kind of felt like speech was back, like you could start to talk, you could have an opinion. And
No, you were able to do that before. You just think you can get away with it now. You feel like you can be bigoted now. Sick is a pseudo-religious bull. Yeah, it's horseshit. What the no. That it's like you might as well say, like, suddenly after Trump won, I felt like the economy was better already. Like, yeah, because you were lying to yourself.
You have some affect with that opinion. Sunny Houston, who I've had nothing but affection for whenever I've dealt with her, she's talking about a moral issue as it pertains to somebody voting for somebody. Exactly what is the moral issue? What is she talking about?
Bodily autonomy for women. You're a dude, and it's not that you can't understand, because I think intellectually he's capable of understanding the concept. It's worse. Pinsky doesn't give a fuck. Pinsky thinks this is a bunch of women being hysterical, and it's a bunch of bullshit, and they should just get over it. And if the state you live in won't provide you abortion care, get in your electric car and, get in your Tesla and drive 2 states over. Take a vacation, Take a couple of days off, have an abortion weekend. And if that does, you know, if you don't have time for that, there's alleys in every big city.
We are throwing things around. Where's the morality? Look, Adam Smith was a moral philosopher. How would he interpret exactly what the moral issue is for going in and issuing a vote? Well,
thanks.
It's wild.
Pretty sure. Yeah, hold on. Let's see. Given that Smith's mentioned the role of education shaping a person's sentiments, it's necessary to review his opinion on education in general. Smith was very disappointed by universities believing that they offered little use to the students in the wealth of nations. He argues that they make the student more conceited, more unprincipled, more dissipated, and more incapable of any serious application. However, he praises institutions that focus on the education of women. The aim of the primary one, a wife may sometimes not feel that tender regard for her husband, which is suitable to the relation that subsists between them. If she has been virtuously educated, however, she will endeavor to act as if she felt it, to be careful, officious, faithful, and sincere, and to be deficient in none of those attentions with the sentiment of conjugal affection could have prompted her to perform. Ladies, put out even if you're mad at your husband, because if you got a good education, that's what it should teach you. The rest let's see. There you go. I had just come from performing last duties to my poor old mother, and thought death of a person in the 90th year was no doubt an event most agreed to the course of nature, and therefore to be foreseen and prepared for. Yet I must say to you that I have said to other people that the final separation from a person who certainly loved me more than any other person ever did or ever will, whom I certainly loved and respected more than I ever shall love or respect another person, I cannot feeling even at this hour a very heavy stroke upon me. So I think he would have been okay with women largely voting their conscience, seemingly.
Thanksgiving dinner. Wham! Throw the turkey leg. Throw the mashed potatoes. Let me ask you one last thing.
No, don't. Either stay quiet or just be really firm and direct and be compassionate and feel sorry for people that are in a delusional state.
I'm not advocating. I'm joking. All right. So when you tell people like Kamala Harris did, and she lies to old people, seniors, and says he's going to take away your Social Security and Medicare, and it's completely a lie.
No, it isn't. It's in Project 2025. Mike Lee was caught on tape saying it. Donald Trump agrees with him.
When she said in her closing speech in D.C. that Donald Trump will sign a national abortion ban, limit access to contraception, and stop IVF, all lies.
Right, which is in Project 2025.
Lies. Do people believe the lie? How much?
Sorry, real quick. Did Mexico pay for the wall? Did Donald Trump get us out of Afghanistan quickly? Did he end the forever wars while he was in office the first time? Who got us out of Afghanistan? So we can establish that on a bunch of fronts. Never showed where's his healthcare plan? 2 weeks. It's been a long fucking 2 weeks. How about his infrastructure bill? Where was that? We can establish a myriad of areas where he lied his fucking ass off, especially about priorities for the American people, or shit he said he wouldn't do. And he did it anyways. Why the fuck would we, why are we supposed to trust him this time? You fooled me twice, you can't get fooled again.
Which responsibility does she bear?
Honest to God, I don't see a lot of Pinsky these days, but I'm surprised even at the depth of his indoctrination and the irony that he's coming on as some sort of like anti-cult, decompression expert. right, is absurd. And it's like, it gets worse the longer he talks. I don't call him Dr. Drew. I call him Dr. Pinsky because his last name is fucking Pinsky and his first name is Drew. Fuck him.
Well, it's hard for me to direct it at her because she was so much a part of a general chorus of waving their magic wand without the batteries.
All right, let's stop borrowing Adam Carolla's fucking stupid line. And it wasn't about waving a magic wand. It's how dense you are. Here's my analogy. She's waving the fucking dictionary, and you guys thought it was a coloring book.
Anymore. Man.
But listen. The whole thing about women being fearful about abortions or being able to get pregnant because they might not be able to get an abortion if their life is endangered. I looked up the data on that by the Kaiser Family Foundation today. Guess what the exception rate is for amongst states that have restricted abortion? 100% exception if the mother's life is in danger. Why?
Yes. But the standard by which they decide a woman's life is in danger is really fucking murky. And by the time they decide, uh-oh, her life's in danger, she's already dying. That's the point, you dumb fuck. Good Lord. 100%. Then there wouldn't be any dead women. Yeah, women have already died. More are going to die. This is horseshit. He knows it. This is garbage. And the fact that he's trying to paint over this, like all I can think is one of the reasons he defends him is because he's on the flight logs too. Or did he just go to the Diddy parties? Or is he just, or worse, did he do neither? He's just a fucking prick. I kind of hope it's just the third one because the world, we're all stocked up on real monsters. And he would just be a useless dickhead. What the fuck happened? Right? Loveline used to be a thing. And I feel like sometimes I don't want to get like paranoid about who I like because you know how they say don't meet your heroes? I met a bunch of my heroes and they're fucking great. Paul Stanley, Dee Snider, amazing people. Richard Marx, very cool. There's a bunch of these dudes. I finally met them and I'm like, these guys are awesome. James Hetfield, awesome dude. Right? But there are sometimes where you're like, oh, this guy's okay. I wonder what he'll do later in life. When you're watching fucking Joe Rogan on news radio, or this asshole's on basically like a perfunctory, like pop psychology, prurient, vaguely sex-oriented chat show late at night on LA radio. And this is what it turns into. This is what this fucker has become. Shut up, bitches. Nothing's happening. You're just hysterical. Like, what the hell? And now he's what? The head reporting doctor at wellness.zippo? Jesus. Like, and again, I don't know why he still has... Yeah, VH1 Rehab was fucking grotesque. He just literally built, like, treating addiction like it's a fucking HGTV show. It's like the Real Housewives of heroin. What a fucking prick. Never helped anyone. Let's just be abundantly clear. Never helped anyone. Not helping anyone now, never did before. Just pop psychological horseshit, a lot of blather, and a lot of dead people in his wake. Fuck Pinsky. Yeesh. Like I said, but because of his ability to articulate what he's saying and appear smart to some of the people that are watching, he'd be way worse than RFK Jr. in a bunch of these cases. Because, again, I think a lot of people are going to have a hard time taking, medical advice or regulatory advice from Mr. Brainworm with the scratchy voice from vocal cord paralysis, who used to shoot heroin into his thigh. You know what I mean? Like, we at least have that going for us, because this asshole, if he was in there, could probably convince a lot more people to get themselves killed, because that seems to be his gig. Lord Almighty. What a piece of shit. It's a good thing I don't pre-watch these things, or I would just like roll in raging. Now, can we move on to something? We'll do a little side note into some news stuff. So Forbes famously is the magazine / organization that gave the illusion that Trump, by the way, you're watching Hal Sparks Megaworldwide, the greatest live stream in the history of live streams. I'm Hal Sparks, and I will continue to Hal Sparks as long as the world needs a Hal Sparks, which for the foreseeable future will be quite some time. Forbes was, famously Trump called John Barron, called as John Barron, and said that he was richer than he was, and all this kind of shit. Just made up his own press secretary thing. Shit like first-year actors do. I never did it. I didn't have the nerve. But, probably could have shaved 5 years off, how long it took to start my acting career if I had. But because apparently nobody gives a fuck. But in this, Forbes is responsible for a lot of people believing that Trump is a success, because he was able to bullshit them into thinking that he had money. And because Forbes said it, Forbes is a real organization, so if they say it, even though they're just parroting his bullshit, right? So, there's two kind of versions of Forbes. There's the above the line Forbes and the below the line Forbes. And the below the line Forbes is the real deal, and the above the line Forbes is like the just bullshit blather, almost page 6-y, we like talking about rich shit. It's almost like a lifestyle magazine, and that's where he would pop up, their list of people who are wealthy and are going to stay wealthy and shit like that. Meanwhile, the other Forbes is like, this whole like tariff thing is a little weird. Let me show you real quick.
With Donald Trump's return to the White House, a lot of things are going to change, especially the price of everyday items. While on the campaign trail, the president-elect made a number of promises regarding tariffs on foreign-made goods. Specifically, Trump said as recently as November 4th that there would be tariffs of at least 25%, which could rise to as high as 100%, on goods made in Mexico.
Yes, remember that. Goods made in Mexico. Now, goods made in Mexico, how do they get into the United States?
Previously, he has said that goods made in China could be hit with a 60% tariff, while anything manufactured abroad could have a blanket 20% tariff. Roger Entner of Recon Analytics, a telecom industry analyst, told Forbes, quote, "Go to Walmart. Virtually everything in Walmart is made in China."
Yep. Now, what store do you think Trump supporters shop at more than any other? All right, besides the Cracker Barrel gift shop. Right. Walmart.
We decided to make China our factory. It took decades to do that, and it will take years, if not a decade, to undo that. It's not just one thing, it's whole supply chains. Presuming Trump makes good on those promises, that would mean that a slew of imported items, from iPhones to clothing to household appliances, including microwaves and other housewares, among many other products, will cost more.
Will cost more.
Trump has argued that the practice will encourage all companies to bring manufacturing back to the United States and bring billions of dollars of revenue to reduce the federal deficit. Historically, tariffs have been used to prod consumers into buying domestically made goods of foreign alternatives.
To prod consumers into doing this.
According to the Biden White House, tariffs as a percentage of federal receipts, or money that the government takes in, have decreased from 100% in the late 18th century to near zero a century ago. Since then, income...
A century ago. 100 years. During that time, real quick, from say 1890 to now, what do you think how do you think the general lifestyle of your average American has done compared to what it was in the late 1800s, as far as just available goods in general? I mean, obviously, it's cheaper to get a computer. The old coal-fired ones were, very heavy and had to be brought by locomotive or a group of Clydesdales.
Taxes have largely supplanted that revenue. While there are some goods that have easy domestic substitutes, like wine for instance, there are many others that do not. All smartphones, along with most consumer electronics in America, are manufactured in and imported from Asia, primarily China. Policy experts resoundingly agree that the costs of tariffs are overwhelmingly borne by the consumer.
You notice that thing pops up, that video came out a week ago. It reminds me of that now a warning. Now, I have to say, if I may, let's see, where is this? There is a, 1 second. Now, look, they may know that, right? But, other people just don't know that. I mean, it's a last minute kind of a thing.
There's no correlation.
Like, people on the right don't know this. They can't possibly.
There's no correlation between trade deficit with a particular country and that country doing better than we are. That's just not the way any of this worked. But the Trump administration is not doing this for economic reasons. They're doing it for cultural reasons. So here, let me explain why they're doing this for cultural reasons. Again, there's a picture. Okay, politics is about pictures. Politics is about stories. Politics is about narratives. When I say trade deficit,
by the way, this is Ben Shapiro. This is not me at 78 speed 20 years ago.
It doesn't matter. It's true, but Trump is telling a different story. And the story that President Trump is telling is a story that goes something like this. Once upon a time, there were booming industries in the United States, large-scale factories, these big buildings located in Detroit where people worked on employment lines, where they worked on manufacturing lines, and they worked there for 50 years, and they got the gold watch, and then they went home. And they had enough money based on that one salary to support their families. Why can't we go back to something like that?
Well, largely because that was it's a bullshit myth to start with, but yeah, that seems to be what he's selling.
And the answer is because America's economy is much more developed. You have better stuff now. You have cheaper stuff now. The businesses that we work in are better to work in than those businesses. If you had a choice between working in a Pittsburgh smelter and working in the Pittsburgh healthcare industry, you would choose to work in the Pittsburgh healthcare industry.
Not if you're a macho dude. Real men work in smelters, which I believe is a fish machine.
Pittsburgh, by the way, is doing quite well, right? The Pittsburgh unemployment statistic right now, the Pittsburgh unemployment rate currently is 4.6% as of September 2017. Okay, that is lower than Pennsylvania as a whole. It's lower than Philadelphia at 6.0%. That's because Pittsburgh has totally shifted how it works. Pittsburgh has become one of the more beautiful cities in the Union. Pittsburgh is.
By the way, this video is from 6 years ago. Yeah, where he's talking about how Trump's idea that he's going to bring jobs back to America is terrible. Wait till he gets to the tariffs part.
Is clean now. It is a service industry. It is a healthcare industry driven city. But Trump doesn't like that. He wants to go back to the pictures from The Deer Hunter, where you've got Christopher Walken working in giant gloves. Right? He wants to go back to the pictures from Breaking Away, where you've got the father working in a quarry. That's what Trump thinks industry looks like. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
He thinks other people work and he golfs. Yeah, we know that part. But get to the tariff part, because it's a 3-minute video called Ben Shapiro Breaks Down Tariffs in 3 minutes.
Iran, by the way, has a trade surplus. Right? Iran is number 15 in the world in trade surplus. Is their economy something that you'd like? Is that something that you...
Yeah, by the way, he goes to how Iran has a trade surplus with other countries. They export more than they import. Does that make their country or their society stronger, better, more comfortable, have more available goods?
Where you've got the father working in a quarry. That's what Trump thinks industry looks like. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Iran, by the way, has a trade surplus. Right? Iran is number 15 in the world in trade surplus. Is their economy something that you'd like? Is that something that you think makes any sense? Here are the countries with the largest trade deficits, by contrast. The three largest trade deficits in the world: United States, UK, Canada. Do those economies sound pretty good to you? Because they are pretty good.
Where the fuck was this the last 10 months? Fucking hell. That economic theory and that economic reality didn't change just because Trump's on the fucking scene. Good Lord, man.
Right? India is a growing economy. They have a trade deficit. France has a pretty significant trade deficit. Australia has a significant trade deficit. Again, no correlation between having a trade deficit and having a poor economy. But again, it's not about that. It's about Trump thinking he's going to win politically because he promised a bunch of people in manufacturing industries he's going to bring their jobs back. I said at the time that's a lie. Those jobs aren't coming back. Those jobs left because of technology. They did not leave because of global competition. And they certainly are not going to be protected by killing jobs in other industries. Because all a surplus is, all a tariff is.
By the way, I'm sorry, his voice is so grating. It is amazingly bad. And it hasn't changed. I don't know when I thought didn't he go to Home Depot and buy a piece of wood to do that thing where you tie your balls, you drill you take a hook screw and and then you wrap a rubber band around your nuts and then you attach them to that and then you put the piece of wood between your legs and then I guess you jump on a trampoline. I never needed to do it, so I don't know how it works or whatever, but I understand the theory behind it.
A tax that is being placed on everyone else for the benefit of some. So if you think that
run that by me again. Sorry, I was telling a balls story.
By killing jobs in other industries, because all a surplus is, all a tariff is a tax that is being placed on everyone else for the benefit of some. So if you think that, for example, the ethanol industry needs to be subsidized by the federal government, I don't think so. I think that it's nasty to tax me to pay off a bunch of farmers in Iowa. Why? I don't see why that's useful. There's no.
Christ Almighty. Honest to God, that's the theory behind all this shit. Good fucking Lord. And he's right. That's what's hysterical about it. There used to be, you know how people are like, we need the left-wing Joe Rogan, and we have it. It was the old-fashioned Joe Rogan, right? That was the left's Joe Rogan. The same thing with Ben Shapiro. Jesus Christ. Again, after fucking Penske is making the case that we've entered a cult and lost our fucking minds, go back and look at these motherfuckers and what they believed about national security, about economics, about the debt and the deficit, and how you have to be able to pay for things and all that kind of shit. Look at what they believed. All of it's out the fucking window. My beliefs haven't changed. My president came in and passed an infrastructure bill. Rescued the economy from a fucking pandemic, got everybody vaccinated, got everybody back to work. People traveled more this year than they have in 20 years. People are going out to eat more. Even if eggs are through the fucking roof and all that conversation, people are doing things. Fucking football games are selling out. Even college games. These motherfuckers used to believe this shit. A cult is when you used to believe sensible things and you stop believing those sensible things because you follow a leader instead of reality. That's what Trump is. My belief about a woman's right to choose and bodily autonomy hasn't changed just because he put people on the Supreme Court, right? Theirs did. Even, pro-choice Republicans have been cowed into silence. It is stunning to me how these people will flush their values down the fucking toilet and forget everything they know about reality once it's no longer convenient or it does not serve the fucking, His Majesty, the King shit given. And look, this shit is not gonna work. It's not gonna work. They know it's not going to work. You know how I know they're not going to? One of the people, we heard about last week, these people who didn't get their bonuses, they're not getting their holiday bonuses because their company has to buy a bunch of gear before Trump takes off, takes his oath and starts his fucking tariffs, because the gear will be too fucking expensive next year. So they got to buy everything they're going to get from overseas in case he tariffs it, and they can't afford to upgrade their gear. So nobody got a fucking bonus for Christmas. It's pretty common. Ben Shapiro telling everybody that a tariff is a tax on everybody who doesn't use the thing that's being tariffed. That's exactly what it is. It gets spread over everything because the cascading cost of everything gets spread, on everybody. But that didn't matter now because King Shit Gibbons is going to sit at the table, and you got to just do whatever he says. I mean, and by the way, for all those who are worried we'll never recover and all that kind of stuff, I want you to remember that England used to be run by a guy who was syphilitic and inbred. He was stupid to start with, and then he got syphilis, and he was making the kind of decisions, like off with their head kind of decisions, left and right. Granted, the reach of the U.S. government is greater than that, but overall, Henry VIII, absolutely. I mean, even arguably the Robert the Bruce, right? When the guy who killed William Wallace or whatever, his father was giving him orders from a fucking tower, and his brain and his flesh were rotting away, right? We could bring this back. We can get it back, but it's going to take some fucking work, and it's going to take a lot of little acts of kindness to make up for the big acts of evil that are going to be out there. And we just got to be we got to be on guard and aware of it, and we got to be resilient and ready. Happy warriors all the way. Yeah. This is because these guys know this is going to collapse. They know it. They know that none of that shit's going to work. What they're hoping is that he brooms out maybe 2 million, illegals, and then he just loses, they lose steam and pretend it's okay. We got all the bad ones out, and we'll get the rest of them over time, and that's what we're going to focus on. And that's just happening in the background. Just assume it's happening. It won't be, but we'll assume it's happening. And then he'll start his tariff back and forth, and it'll be a pissing contest, and he'll pretend he made a deal with a couple of countries over God knows fucking what. Meanwhile, we have been reshoring or offshoring to new locations, namely Mexico and the rest of Asia, all of our electronics manufacturing and that kind of shit, because China's fucking collapsing already. China's in deep shit. Deep, violent, horrible shit right now. If you don't believe me, go watch the China Show guys on Fridays. They come on before my show. Yeah. Hal, is the history of the show the Serpent Queen, her father and mother died from syphilis? Didn't everybody? If you were lucky, you died of syphilis back then. At least it meant you were getting laid. It beats the shit out of just starving to death, I suppose. But the point is, Trump himself is already a mess. And you're going to see people around him. He's going to be surrounded by different Rasputins. There is no way this works out for him. This guy manages to fuck up everything. And the interesting thing about Trump is the first term, he's one of the few presidents, maybe since Ronald Reagan's first term, where it appeared like, other than the fact that he'd been shot, that he didn't really age. Right? That it didn't affect him the way it did. He just golfed and didn't give a shit. If people died or there was a shooting, he just kind of went, well, you just got to get over it. Like, because he's a sociopath, he doesn't connect to those things. But once he was out of office and he was confronted with the real ramifications of his actions, maybe going to jail, he started to age really fast, really poorly. Okay. The difference is that this time there's no second, there's no third Trump term. He's not going to live through it. if he lives, I will be shocked if he lives through the entire term. He's gonna, like I said, they're gonna wheel him around like Admiral Pike because he's a figurehead. So they can't just let him, fall down a flight of stairs and JD Vance go, "I'm president now." Isn't that cool? They're gonna fucking, he'll be a jelly-headed mess, but they'll drag him across the finish line. I'm assuming if he doesn't just keel over. If anything short of him literally just vapor locking, they'll keep him. Fucking, at best they'll Dave him, and I don't know when Elon Musk might put a chip in his fucking head, but everybody will sign off on it. The point being is that there's no way he runs a third term. He can barely stand up now. All the old shit they were saying about Biden is just as bad for Trump. It's a fucking mess. That's not going to change. Thank you for getting the Dave reference, Driveway Geek. Very well done. Yeah. Yeah, the over-under is 16 to 24 months. And again, will the stress of the midterms do it to him, is the question. And those around him will jockey to, carry on the torch of MAGA and all that kind of shit, and they'll sell it. But if everything these folks actually on his side know won't work, and he goes through with it anyways, and it fails, again, it's going to take a lot of us trying to protect the people that will fall through the cracks in this, but it's his billionaire friends that are going to turn on him. Yep. And Cornyn and Tom Tillis have both talked about how they're going to continue the House's ethics investigation in the Senate around Matt Gaetz. So there's no fucking way he becomes AG, though he may end up in the White House. He may pull him because the ethics investigation can continue in the Senate in terms of if he's going to actually be, the nominee. They can go through all of that shit. And so more than likely he pulls them before it actually happens and then gives him a little White House advisory thing. But the reason he offered him the job or said he's going to do it is basically as a shit-stirring moment, and honestly, so that he could step down out of his seat, have a reason for stepping down before the investigations report came out, which would have been Friday. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. So. That said, I adore you guys. What about MTG? She's not going anywhere. He doesn't like her. We're worry more about Laura Loomer being the fucking secretary of QAnon blowjobs or something, because that's more of a concern. But again, the only recourse most Democrats have to deal with the people he's going to put up is an embarrassment brigade. You can't vilify them because they like being the villain, but you can embarrass him, and Matt Gaetz is embarrassing. That's the one area where you can kind of dust him the fuck off, right? So the same thing is sort of true about Pete Hegseth. That will also run aground. More than likely, he will back out of that as well. Again, I don't think it's because cooler heads will prevail. I think it's because Trump is a flippant fuck who, and those around him, those guys will have to ditch out because they don't want the scrutiny. Because the scrutiny will still have to be there so that the House and the Senate at least look like they're doing their job. Even if the House is really, the Republican House is ready to hand over everything to Trump, if indeed they are, because they do, again, the Senate's term is longer than the president's. There's a couple people who will be up in the midterms, but the people who just got elected, they'll be here 2 years after Trump goes, and they intend on him going. Yeah. So I just, again, we'll keep at it. But I really do feel like there are areas where we know Trump does this showy, blurry bullshit to just kind of distract everyone, and they do this it's like a media tick that he has. So, but there's no way Matt Gaetz ends up as AG. It's not fucking happening. He might try. Well, He might try to make him acting, but he's not going to do it as a, as a recess appointment. He won't do it. I think that'll happen. They'll get somebody awful in there. Don't worry. But he'll swap that person out. And Matt Gaetz again would just cover his own ass, and he still can't get out of his own state charges with that. Doesn't matter. So. I know people are saying they don't ever plan to be out of power again and blah, blah, blah. There is a mix of Republicans that still are like, we have to deal with this fucker until he dies, and then it's back to us taking control. They know, I think a lot of Senate Republicans especially know, that they can't seize back the power of the party until he's dead. Oh, of course I've been wrong before. But I'm like 98-2. Now, granted, it was him running, which is, again, because he was being indicted, and him winning because it did not occur to me that Latinos that would act the exact same way they did in the 50s in regard to Eisenhower's purge. Silly me. Sometimes I have too much faith and hope in humanity. That said, no, again, Vance is too big of a dweeb. Thune is serious about running for president. Thune thinks he could be the next serious, he's like a handsome Kasich. That's why they hate him. He wants the country to exist so he can run it. There is a difference, right? The tick doesn't want the dog to die. Trump, syphilis does. So Trump is like an infectious disease, and the regular Republicans are like ticks or barnacles. They need the animal alive to live off. They're parasites. Trump is a virus. Republicans are parasites. And the parasite needs the host to live. Viruses don't. Right? Yes, the tick wants the vote of the base, but they can't have it until the virus dies. Right? That's in this analogy. Yeah. So that, and we'll see, but we're going to have to keep working at it. I'm not giving up the ship. My son has to live in this country. He's 13 years old. I'm not going to go, well, fuck that. I guess I'll just move to a fucking oil rig someplace and wait out the end times. Not going to happen. I think it was, it was Sam Jackson in the first Avengers movie, until the Earth stops spinning, we will act as if it intends to spin on, something along those lines. That's how I see it. Until the world stops spinning, we will behave as if it will continue to spin. Yep. Ooh, oil rig. That's a good call. Probably is Moon Girl. That's what Peter Thiel was doing. That's a Peter Thiel reference. Peter Thiel wanted to turn an oil rig into a country until he found out that he has to have a security agreement with the nearest country, which would have been the United States, and we weren't going to give it to him. Right? Because fuck him. You can't live on an oil rig, try to undermine the dollar with your own fake currency, and then expect us to protect you from pirates. Doesn't work that way. So anyways, love you guys. See you tomorrow, Friday Eye in the morning. And I believe, let's see. I got an act today going to do mine tonight. Tweet deleter. Oh, look at that. Content is still there when I check Twitter. Yeah, that's so weird, Mark. I think it takes a day for it to reset. But I don't know. So, and Andrea tomorrow, Rob Glenn, and just Rob. Okay, great. So, because I have a lot to talk about with him tomorrow, and some stuff to announce and what we're going to do going forward as well. Because I got to say, gift subs, thank you so much. And thank you guys again for the Super Chats. Viva la Résistance. Can we get your thoughts on Moskowitz? Yes, we'll do that tomorrow. We'll deep dive. Hold on. I just want to say hi. And thank you, Tom. And JD, thank you so much. And Pentaxis, Drew, I hear your body, my choice is trending. P.S. Totally. Just a fucking cretin. Anyways, love you guys. Subscribe, become a member, all that kind of stuff. I'm the little channel that could. If I'd had more influence, I think I would have had more sway in this election because I got mad skills to pay the bills. We'll do this going forward. But I do think if you're looking for somebody that won't pussyfoot around this shit going into the next thing, I'm the dude. So if you want to help out and help the show stay afloat, please do. If you can't, because you're like, I can't, I understand that. Just come here, and I will do my best to talk you down, calm you down, and get you functional again. And it doesn't cost you nothing but time, which is, I get it, the greatest gift you can give anyone, and that's not lost on me. I appreciate you guys. See you tomorrow.
We've got entirely too many troublemakers here. All I'm offering is the truth.
You are physically repulsive, intellectually retarded, vulgar, insensitive, selfish, stupid. You have no taste, a lousy sense of humor, and you smell.
Groovy.
I'm your father, Luke. Give in to the dark side of the Force, you nap.
Looking around here, I can tell you're a genuinely dirty person.
Dr. Evil! Dr. Evil!
Peace! Hands! Now!
Dr. Evil!
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Well, it's a well-known fact, Sonny Jim, that there's a secret society of the 5 wealthiest people in the world, known as the Pentaverate, who run everything in the world, including the newspapers, and meet tri-annually at a secret country mansion in Colorado known as the Meadows.
So who's in this Pentaverate?
The Queen, the Vatican, the Gettys, the Rothschilds, and Colonel Sanders before